Blog Talk Radio.
10 years ago, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire
LCS Hockey.
And we're off. It's the show that's just a little worse than the traffic you're sitting in. It's the LCS Hockey Radio Show, brought to you as always by Honest John Churchfield and by the #1 hockey site in all the land, lcshockey.com. LCS, liquor, champagne, and suds. Regis and Kelly host, Kelly Ripa, has told Lifestyle magazine that she would never consider having a boob job because she's just too scared. Quote, "I would never have a boob job. I am too wimpy. I have small boobs." She said that she's not self-conscious about them and says she makes up for their small size with her large vagina.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. I really don't know. Earlier this week, a man was arrested and charged with criminal intent for stalking pop star Miley Cyrus. The man's name? Billy Ray Cyrus. Billy Ray Cyrus. That guy's very creepy when it comes to that daughter of his. And how about this, Mike Dell? One more story here. In a recent interview, Kid Rock stated his opinion on men who are not well endowed. Quote, "I'll never understand the bitterness of guys born with extremely small penises. Seems like you should just accept the cards that God dealt you and try not to be an asshole all the time." Kid Rock then went on to say, "I'm accepting the cards that God dealt me and trying not to be an asshole all the time." So that's it. That's it for the monologue. But anyways, tonight on the show, in the second hour, not the first hour, because we're going to be struggling, but in the second hour, we're happy to welcome from Examiner.com and also the communication director of MUFON, Roger Marsh. He'll be here to talk some, what Mike Dell likes to call the space monkeys. But you know, in the meantime, it's going to be more of the usual winging it and nonsense. Maybe we'll talk some movies and TV and whatever else. So let's just get this show over with. Joining me as always is the editor-in-chief at LCS Hockey, the attack site, and a man who still hasn't recovered from the cancellation of Dobie Gillis. It's the very busy Mike Dell.
Jerry Farish, what's up?
What's up, Mike Dell?
Hey, yeah, we're continuing our alternative summer programming tonight.
Yes.
Is that what we call it? So
yeah.
Once again, it's hockey free.
Yeah, the ASP I like to call it.
Yeah,
the
alternative summer programming. Yeah, so no hockey this week.
Nice.
We may have hockey next week.
No.
Yeah,
God, no.
Yeah, we'll see. Our buddy from Puck Daddy might be coming over. We'll see.
No, not Wyshynski.
Yeah, maybe Greg Wyshynski. He was talking to me about it, so we'll see, because Wyshynski wanted to come on a couple weeks ago, and then it never worked out, so maybe we'll get him on next week, because the big G.I. Joe movie's coming out, and it seems every time he's on, we talk about the G.I. Joe. So
that movie looks real gay.
I don't know. I don't think it looks that bad.
I think it looks extra gay. Yeah.
I still haven't seen Cobra Commander, though. You were telling us about him last week. So.
Yeah, he looks really, really gay.
Yeah, so anyway, no hockey this week.
Yes, I
like you
that.
said, in the second hour, though, we'll be talking Space Monkeys and UFOs with Roger Marsh. And then if there's time left over, we'll do some more conspiracy stuff there at the end. But in this first hour,
we got a call already, Mike Dell, though.
Wow.
We got a call.
I'm very excited.
Yes, we got a call. Yes, you do know who it is. It's our buddy, the Ed.
Oh, okay, yeah, bring the Ed on that.
The sports trivia champion of the world. Ed!
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, listen, I'm on the freeway right now. Guess how fast I'm going?
69.
Nope.
68?
Oh, guess how the other 60.
The Ed, I'll say 55, the Ed.
No.
0.
14 miles.
Wow, what's going on the freeway that you're only going 14 miles an hour?
There was a wreck, and I just passed it. Now I'm 40, 45. Can this car go 50? Do I hear 51, 52, 53, 54, 55? No.
Well, let me ask you this, Ed. Are you driving a Mercedes-Benz? Last week when last I heard from you, you were trying to trade in...
No, man. Listen to this bull crap.
Uh-huh.
Hey, let me use my son's identification. I had all his information up there at the driver's spot to get cars.
Yeah.
And I went and looked at it and everything, and they pulled it all up, and they was like, "Is this you?" I was like, son. And they was like, "You can't do this." And I was like, you caught me.
I mean, you caught me, yeah. I can't imagine them not letting you buy a car.
Well, listen to this.
Uh-huh.
My son just got home about 2 hours ago, because today is the day I'm supposed to go.
Oh, yeah, today's the big move-out day.
I haven't moved nothing yet, and I took off, so I'm in the car. Maybe he'll be asleep by the time I come back home.
Yeah, that'd be something.
Yeah. I'm hoping that's what he do. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
for the people.
Hey, listen, I got an announcement to make on my show.
Okay, go ahead, Ian.
Starting our next season, our 4th season, we're going to expand to 2 hours.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't think Mike Dell's aware of this.
Yeah, the Ed, don't you think I should have some say in this, or?
Well, all you got to do is push the button and say hello.
I guess. I don't know, 2 hours, that's... No, the Ed, we do 2 hours.
He said, I guess, it's over.
But the Ed, we do 2 hours every Wednesday night, and you see what a train wreck it is. So why would you want to do 2 hours on Thursday night?
Well, you like you.
Very good. Yeah, the Ed Show Thursday nights on Blog Talk at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. And apparently it's going to be from 10 to 12 from now. Is that right, the Ed? 10 to 12?
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about this. Because I don't know either.
You're going to work out the details.
Yeah. Huh.
Guess who I saw today at a mall?
Jerry Tyler Moore.
No, but somebody else famous relative.
Somebody else's famous relative. Ah, man.
Somebody's brother.
Frank Stallone.
Nope, Chad Pitt.
Yeah.
Who?
I don't think there is a Chad Pitt, the Ed. I think you're kind of imagining.
No, he's a nice fellow. He's a bartender over at Caesar's Palace, and they got a mall in there.
Well,
and
just because his name
was Chad Pitt.
Well, just because his name's Chad Pitt doesn't necessarily mean he's related to Brad Pitt.
He told me he was. I said, "What? That's Brad Pitt brother?" He said, "Yep."
Chad Pitt.
I said, "You be giving him free drinks when he come in?" He said, "All the time."
I think Brad Pitt could buy his own drinks, you know.
He get free ones. His brother hooked him up.
That's part of the celebrity lifestyle there, Mike Dell.
I guess.
Yeah, when you're celebrity, you don't pay for nothing.
Hell no.
The Ed, has anybody given you any free stuff lately? You are the number 2 ranked comedy show on Blog Talk, so you are a celebrity.
Chad Pitt gave me 2 free drinks today.
Oh, there you go.
Well, who's number 1?
Dr. Blogenstein.
Dr. Blogenstein?
Yeah, some guy. And listen to this, me and Little Jay tried to call his show to get on it the other week, and he has a call screener.
Oh, no. Call screeners. Wow.
Yeah.
He must be a premium dude. He must pay money and stuff. Yeah, but I saw...
Yeah,
hey, the Ed, I saw this.
What did Dr. Blogenstein about? I was like, dude, I don't know. Call the guy. Shit.
Yeah, they want to let you on.
No, we didn't wait. They told us to hold on. I said, I'll go.
Hey, the Ed, I saw that this week he has an advertisement running on the main Blog Talk page that he has John Lovitz coming on his show.
Oh, God. Who canceled?
That was last night. Yeah, that was his last night's episode. And I listened to one of his episodes, too, and I don't know what the big deal was. Why everybody got to get guests all the time? Oh, we got to have superstar guests.
Yeah, the way I like to... Yeah, the way I like to think of your show, the Ed...
Number 1 in wine and number 2 in comedy.
That's right. We are number 1 in wine, and you're number 2 in comedy. But your show, the Ed, you're the host and the guest. That's how I like to think about it.
I'm the guest host.
That's right. So what else is going on, Ed?
Hey, I want you to have a talk with those guys from the UMass Check show, man.
All right.
They keep giving out false information saying there's a number show on the damn network, man. And listen, you need to put on that message board that they're lying, because everybody don't believe me. They'll believe you're a voice without reason, so they'll do it.
Yeah, Mike, though, you're a voice without reason.
Yeah, the Ed gets very upset when people question his rating superiority.
Yeah, they go, oh, where'd you find these ratings? And I'm like, well, Jesus Christ, you can go right to the goddamn main page and pull it up.
Nobody's listening to that UMass show, Ed. Nobody.
Yeah, I don't think so, man. They all they do is talk about Massachusetts stuff, about the Kennedys. You know how old stuff the Kennedys is, man? The Kennedys ain't relatives no more.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah, we just talked about John Kennedy last week, Ed. And we might talk about him again later on in the show. I don't know. We'll see.
Did you talk about Bobby Kennedy banging out Jane Kennedy after the JF Hooker died?
No, I didn't. I didn't talk about that.
Yeah, but you knew about it, right?
Yeah, because you told me. The Ed, ever since the Ed found out I like conspiracy theories, he tells me some every once in a while.
Yeah.
So Bobby Kennedy was banging out the Jackie Kennedy? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a book that just came out about it.
Huh.
Some guy that's been following the Kennedys around for years, man. Said Rose Kennedy and all of them knew about it, and that's why they didn't like old Jane Kennedy.
I'd bang that out.
Yeah.
Back in the day, not so much.
Now, the Ed, speaking of ratings on the Blog Talk, usually some of the highest-rated shows are about UFOs. I don't know if you've noticed that, the Ed. But there's a couple of them in, like, the top 15 or 20. Tonight, in the second hour, we're going to have a guest on to talk about UFOs and space monkeys and aliens and stuff. And it made me think, have you ever seen a UFO, the Ed?
Nah, I've seen UPS truck. They come every day.
No, that's something different. That's different, the Ed. I don't think that's a UFO. That's
close.
A delivery guy.
Yeah. UFO, that's the kind where, like, the like, weird people be flying like a flying saucer and stuff?
Yes. Yeah. Typically, they don't wear brown shorts.
Uh-oh. Yeah. They don't wear shorts?
No.
If I wear long pants, they don't know what kind of draft they're going to get when they come down. They could land that spacecraft in any part of the country.
Yeah, you got to be prepared, You just can't show up with nothing. Yeah.
I mean, I thought for one time or two that there was space monkeys and stuff, but they never came talk to me, man.
I find that hard to believe.
They should.
Yeah.
I heard a guy one time on, I got satellite radio. Have you ever heard of Howard Stern show?
Yeah, a little bit. A little vaguely. I think I've heard of him.
He got a guy named Riley Martin. He believes in UFOs. He talk about them all the time, and I called his show one time to try to talk to him about UFOs. Told him I was scared of him.
You called the Riley Martin show? Did you get on the air?
Yeah, I called one of his first 2-3 shows he had. Now you can't even call to get on there no more. I like that guy. He's a good kid, man.
He's a little weird.
No, that guy tell you about how stuff really happens. He thought I was weird, because when I told him how sometimes I'd be getting pains and stuff, I'd be wondering, is that aliens trying to talk to me when the pains be in my neck and my back? And then he giggled. And I had never heard a guy giggle in his life.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he's not much for laughing so much. Yeah.
So I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know. Maybe he's fine.
I got a question for the Ed.
Huh?
What's this play you're writing, the Ed? I see you're writing a play, and what's that all about?
Broadway play. You got to give everybody their scripts.
Well, yeah,
I'm thinking about putting it on Broadway. I don't even know how many people even want to be in it.
I'm supposed to be in that thing. You haven't even started writing it yet, and we're doing it tomorrow night?
No, we're going to have, number one night said we got to wait till the next Thursday night to do it.
Oh, next Thursday?
Well, yeah, Larry wants to do it tomorrow, there, the Ed, because
but
he's off.
But the Acting Score kid talking about coming on, but
that's right. Yeah, we've got Zach Rosenfeld from AccuScore.com coming on the Ed.
Oh, not that guy.
You?
Yeah, the Blue Horseshoe. Yeah.
Yeah, he called me personally on my telephone.
That's right.
Yep, he's a friend now.
So, Larry, you don't like good old Zach from Mackey Square?
Yeah, not really.
But he's got his evil computers, and they want to take over the world.
That is true. That is true. You know who called me today was the Dave. Dave Damashek called me on my phone today.
I find that hard to believe.
Really? That guy, man, he don't even call me no more since I be killing him in trivia.
That's yeah, he called me. He was crying that the Ed's always killing him in trivia.
Oh, well, then, yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah. Yes.
And you know what? I hate all those people that say, oh, Ed, you're cheating. We know you're cheating. How am I going to cheat, man? How am I going to cheat?
Ed, I know for a fact that you can't cheat because you're rarely even home when you're doing these shows. You do your own show and you're not home.
I know.
Yeah,
but apparently I cheat. I just cheat for this guy's show.
Yeah.
I mean, I eat dinner and all kind of stuff. And then, I'm cheating. Oh, you a cheater, Ed. Oh, you a cheater, pumpkin eater. Oh, yeah. My man, you know what? Take that and go bury it somewhere with a goddamn green tree. It don't matter.
That's right.
Yeah, because
bury it somewhere.
Last week, the Ed had his own show, and he wasn't even home. He was out buying a car.
Yeah.
I know. Then Little J told me, he tried to call my show last week, and I wasn't on my own show. I was on there. I said, I just hung up for like 2.5 minutes, and I had to go for a minute. Hey, I'm driving by this. It's a totally nude bar called Little Darling.
Little Darling.
I was looking at it. I had to slam my brakes off before I hit the back of this van.
Be careful, yeah. Be careful.
I had like 6 goddamn kids, and all the kids fighting in the back. Well, you should slow down. See, listen, it says we got 100 girls, 97 pretty ones, and 3 ugly ones.
Hey, the ugly ones need a couple bucks too, the Ed.
I wonder if you get a discount on the ugly girls.
Yeah, you just throw quarters at them.
Probably.
Yeah, change.
I'd do it. Yeah. Yeah, I tell them, hey, girl, it's time for change, and I throw it at it.
Now, the Ed, how goes the Oreo eating?
Yeah, I'm up there.
Yeah. The Ed?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going good. You're over 5,000 now, right?
Yeah, I'm almost at 5,200 now.
Yeah, the Ed, for those who don't remember, the Ed's trying to eat 10,000 Oreos by the end of the year.
My stomach starts hurting. After I eat about 25 in a day, my stomach starts hurting a little bit, so I got to slow down.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, I know, me too, because usually I could just smash them right down in my belly.
Ugh.
And then somebody told me I should take a whole bag of them and make them like a smoothie and just drink them, but then that don't count because I ain't killing them.
That counts, Ed. That definitely counts. It doesn't matter how you get them in there, as long as you get them in there.
Ah.
Yeah.
I think I might have to do the prison break style for the last 100 and stuff them in my rear.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't think that counts.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, you might...
Let's hope not.
Yeah. You might enjoy it, but I don't think it counts.
I wouldn't enjoy that, man. I don't like when they do that. When you go to jail and they go, oh, spread them, you're like, oh, stretch. I don't want to do that.
No, the Ed, please, we don't want her to go back to you being in jail.
They've never found nothing inside me when they do that. I mean, how many times they got to search them? I'm like, come on, man, it's silly.
And for those who don't recall, I believe the last time you were in jail was 1983, right, the Ed?
Last time I told you about it.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Hey, now the Ed, football season's just around the corner. Are you excited?
Yeah, I can't wait. Listen, I'm going to win a lot of money this year. And you guys better be betting with me. And we're going to have we got a college football game and a pro football game. And we're going to have Joe going to put his title belt on the line. Because Joe beat me in that last stupid thing. He's borrowing my belt right now. He's borrowing my title belt. So
just borrowing it.
Have it. Huh?
He's just borrowing it. He's keeping it warm for you, the Ed, that's all.
Yeah. He's probably sitting on it. He probably wears it to work every day because he ain't never won nothing in his life. He's a loser.
Like Andy Kaufman, wear it under his clothes.
Really is, yeah. Hey, well, kids, I got to go. I'll call you later.
All right, Ed. Thanks for stopping by. There he goes. our buddy the Ed. Remember, go to his website, theedssuperdeluxewebsite.com, and be sure and listen to his show tomorrow night, 10 o'clock on Blog Talk. That's 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Yeah, 2 hours. I've never heard that before.
What do you think of that, Mike Dell?
I don't know. It's a little rough.
4 hours of Blog Talk. How do you feel right now?
Yeah, it's a little rough. Because let's be honest, Larry, we got nothing for tonight, you know?
No, goddamn no.
I've been not feeling so good today, so I haven't been doing anything. The last couple of days I haven't been feeling so good, so I haven't planned anything. And you've been buying a house? You just moved into a new house?
Yes.
So why don't you tell the people about that?
Well, I bought a house last Wednesday, so between last Wednesday and today, I've been painting and moving and cleaning and drinking, and it's been a lot of work.
Now, do you have to drink? Is that something you need to do?
Yes, I definitely need to drink, because I've been drinking today since about 1:30. I had a little, what I like to call a golf outing today, so I've been drinking for about the last 8 hours.
And how'd the golf outing go, Larry?
It went pretty good. It went pretty good. I actually, I'll be honest with you, I golfed pretty well today. Pretty good for myself, anyways.
Now, I heard talk that you won a prize of some sort.
I did. I won a prize. The whole
What is that?
What the hell is that?
Someone's calling the show, apparently.
All right, hold on. Let's see what happens. Let's see if somebody answers.
The Cricket customer you have called is unavailable, either because the
Cricket?
phone is off or
How
is
is that
outside of
possible?
the service area. Please try your call again later. Message 20.
Oh, that's lovely.
Huh. All right. I don't have Cricket. I think that was the Ed, because he's
But-
still on the line.
The Ed doesn't have cricket, I don't think.
Oh, maybe he was trying to call somebody that does have Cricket.
Oh, yeah, that could be. He could have been doing his three-way calling thing. And
Huh. Maybe he was trying to set up a bid for our show.
yeah, maybe we should, I think we should have that every show now. Just a phone will ring, and you answer it, and we'll see who it is.
Yeah, that would be good. I would do that. We could do that with the premium service if we wanted to pay $400 a year.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think it's worth it. But anyway, yeah, so getting back to what's going on in your life there, Larry. You won a prize.
Yeah.
Now, did you
Yeah,
say
I
what
was
it
golfing today, and this was an outing for the bar, the bar I belong to. And
You belong to a bar.
I belong to a bar. It's a club. It's not necessarily a bar. It's a social club.
Wow.
And
Do
you gotta
you
pay-
like all wear smoking jackets and sit around in big chairs?
No to both of those. But you do have to pay like a membership fee every year. At any rate, though, there was what they call a scramble. There was 4 of us.
Oh, wait, I want to hear a little bit more about the club. Do you have like matching jackets or anything?
No, there's nothing other than.
Is there like an initiation, a hazing period?
No hazing. Maybe a couple guys will come up and touch your butthole a little bit, but other than that, I mean, it's just your regular standard bar.
Huh.
The drinks are just cheaper than when you go out to a public bar. The membership fees are cheap. They're only, I think it's $10 or maybe $12 a year. Nothing major. And then, once a year they have a Christmas party where everything's free, free food, free booze all night. And they have what they call Customer Appreciation Day, which is another free night, free whatever you want to drink, free whatever you want to eat. So, that $10 pays for itself right there. And then, throughout the year, bottle of beer I think is $1.25. Draft beers are like 75 cents. It's just a little, dinky club down by my house. So they had a golf outing today, and we played in a scramble. There was, 4-man teams, and you play best ball. And afterwards, everybody gets a prize, okay? But the longer you get pulled, like everybody gets a ticket, and the longer you wait to get pulled, the lesser the prize, because our buddy Lance, he's actually hosted this show I think once or twice with me. He was almost dead last, so he got a box of balls and what have you. But I got pulled right away, like almost. I don't know if I was second or third, and there was this chair, this wooden chair that they had there, and I was like, oh, I got to have this chair. because I just bought the house and I got a porch and all I ever wanted to do was get a house and that way I can sit out on the porch like Sunday afternoons and listen to the Pirate games if I want to and just relax.
The Pirates, really?
Yeah, like I like baseball on the radio. Baseball on the radio, it takes me back to a more gentler time in my life when I was younger and everything was better and it didn't suck and I didn't want to kill myself. Like back when I was younger, like baseball on the radio was king. Baseball really translates well on the radio. But anyways, my dog is like, he's really rubbing his ass all over the carpet right now. I'd love to change subjects, but I don't know what's going on with him. But anyways, so they pull my number. And I was like, oh, man, can I get this chair? And he's like, yeah, take the chair. So I got this, like, wooden, it's a blue chair. It's a chair for your outdoor patio or whatever. It's I think they call it, like, an Adirondack chair. Sure. It kind of sits low. And, I was like, oh, I need this. I need a chair. I haven't bought a chair yet. So I got the chair. And little did I know, though, when I took the chair, I was examining it after I went back to my seat. And I was sitting down and I opened it up. It's a Sam Adams chair. It's got a big Sam Adams Boston Lager logo painted on the back of the chair, and I was like, that is sweet because I don't know if you know this or not, Mike Dell. I like the Sam Adams.
Yeah, I did hear that. And not many people find out, like, would react that way when they find out there's a beer logo on a chair.
Yes. Now, here's the thing. When the chair was leaning against the table, you could only see, like, the back part, not the part that you actually put your back on, but, like, the actual back of the chair. So it was just, it was a nice blue color, and I was like, oh, I'd love to have that chair. Now, had I brought it back to the, where I was sitting and I opened it up and it was Miller Lite, I might have tried to trade that for, a bag of teas or maybe a kick in the balls. But instead, it was Sam Adams. So
it was meant to be.
Yes, it was a match made in heaven. I was very excited about it.
Wow, congratulations on that. So now you got the new house, you got the porch, and you got the chair to put on the porch of the new house. But now, so how does it feel to be a homeowner? This is the first home you've ever owned yourself.
Yeah. I don't know. I got to tell you, I don't love it. I definitely don't love it. It's fine, I guess, in a sense. But now I know that when the furnace goes, that's my responsibility.
That's right.
When the roof leaks, that's my responsibility. And I'm not so sure I'm excited about that right now. Yeah. I'm not one for working or doing stuff.
Just focus on the chair.
Yes, that's all. If the roof leaks, I'll just sit on the porch. I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
Hey, the Ed's back.
Oh, all right. Well, let's get the Ed.
Let's talk to the Ed. Maybe we're the cricket customer he was trying to reach. Ed.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man?
Listen, my name is Joseph Maglabu, and I'm a UFO expert.
No.
Hey, what's up, Joseph Bloggleblu?
Yeah. Listen, UFOs are real.
That's right.
They're in everybody's kitchen cabinet.
They're in everybody's kitchen cabinets?
The Ed, I know it's you, buddy.
This is Joseph Bloggleblu, Mike Dell. This is not the Ed. Joseph Bloggleblu.
Yeah. And I've graduated 4 times from Cornell University.
Wow.
4 times. The first 3 didn't stick?
Yeah.
You had to go for it. Yeah.
I had to go back for other degrees. I got 4 degrees.
How about naming those degrees, Joseph Bloggleblu?
Got one in electronic communications.
Electronic communications.
Military awareness.
Military awareness. I hear Cornell is one of the leading universities in terms of military awareness.
Yes.
Yeah. And kitchen utensilry.
Oh.
Kitchen utensilry, is that what he said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just checking.
In Madagascar.
Oh, so you had to go back. Now, is that Madagascar the movie you got that degree in?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Joseph Bloggleblu. I got to write that down. All right. Madagascar, kitchen utensilry, military awareness, and electronic communication.
And see, my military awareness has time to tell the people they got to watch out for them you know, AMDs and SPDs.
Yeah.
AMDs.
Look out for the SPDs.
Oh. Yeah.
Pretty much everything that ends in D is what you're saying.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
I mean, you gotta watch out, because, I mean, different colors mean different things.
Okay.
Red don't always mean red. Blue don't always mean blue. Sometimes red could mean green. Green could mean orange. I mean, it just is a whole bunch of different correlations of the convolution of the types of bowling type stuff that happen.
Huh.
Yeah.
I was unaware.
Yeah. That's why I got military awareness. I wear a special patch on my jacket that says it.
Got a patch, Mike, though. It's official.
Yeah. It's a circular patch. Said, my son's an honor roll student at John C. Miller Elementary.
That's unusual that they'd give you that when you graduate from Cornell.
Well, because military awareness, you have to understand.
Oh, it's a code.
It's for Cornell. It's a military code. And all these people trying to cross the street again. Hey, don't get hit!
Now, Joe Blugabloom, or whatever your name is, why are you out driving your car?
Hello?
Yeah, Joe Blugabloom, are you still there?
Yeah.
It sounds like you're out driving your car.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Got to. Listen. I can't tell you. Stop
all
me.
right. Oh, it's not military awareness.
You're asking a lot of questions. You're supposed to interview me about UFO.
Oh, well, Larry, do you have any questions for Joseph?
Have you ever been abducted?
Several times.
And was there any anal probes involved?
Now, a lot of snow cones and stuff like that, though.
Snow cones. I enjoy a good snow cone. I haven't had one in a long time.
Now, are those snow cones or space snow cones?
I mean, you decide for yourself, because the snow was from space.
Ah, there you go.
Well, I guess that
Yeah.
answers your question, Mike.
You can even go to my Facebook page and see it.
Ah, your Facebook page.
So
Yeah,
Joseph Blogablu at Facebook, Spacebook.
Yeah.
All right. So check out that for everybody who's listening if you want to see space snow cones. Do they come in flavors, or is it just one flavor, like space flavored?
No, well, they're called atmospheric flavored. You know,
Atmospheric?
like you sell types of bottled water up there. Like we got Mars water, Venus water, everything.
Do they have potato-flavored water?
Huh?
Do they have potato-flavored water?
Yeah, that would be silly.
Yes, it would, wouldn't it?
Yeah. All this stuff like the Pluto favorite water, flavored, not favorite, but flavored water is probably our top seller.
Huh.
It tastes just like Pluto.
Oh, well, then, yeah, I can see where it would be popular then, yeah.
Yep. Yep. And we even got soap that helps you lose gravity. It's called gravity soap.
All right.
Lose gravity.
That's
Is
very
that what he
good,
said?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh?
Now, Joseph, I hope you'll forgive me, but I really don't feel like interviewing you on UFOs because we got a guy coming on later. I don't want to, waste all my questions. Oh, no. Oh, it was
this
the Ed.
the Ed?
Right? Yeah, it was the
He
Ed.
tricked us?
Yeah.
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 Oh. Damn it, I was really interested in the Pluto-flavored water and the space snow cone.
You got stuff for that one.
You got me, the Ed.
Yeah.
Now, the Ed, while you're back here, real quick here, what about, you love the UFC, you love the fighting, you love the MMA, the boxing and whatnot. What about your buddy Fedor Emelianenko not signing with the UFC?
Oh, he can't anyway because he signed with that EA Sports video game. So if Dana White is so tough, he wasn't going to sign him anyway.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
Well,
why
but
was Dana White still trying to sign him after he already signed with EA Sports?
Yeah, well, that's a good point, yet. But what's Emelianenko doing signing with Strikeforce? Who's he going to fight? You know, nobody.
You.
Whoever they put in front of him.
Well, I hope he loses. Wouldn't that be hilarious if he loses his first fight? Oh, that'd be great.
That's why, listen, this is why he didn't sign with the UFC. Okay, they said they was going to give him a 6-fight, $30 million deal.
Yes.
But once he lost, the contract was over.
No, do you know that for a fact
No,
yet, or
but
are you just making that up?
Yeah, no, that's true. Now, listen, now what he's scared about is what if he loses a decision, and then Dana White goes, you wasn't worth that anyway. We don't want to pay you all this money. We'll have to renegotiate your contract, and you're just a regular fighter.
It's a good point, yet. If that is true, if that stipulation is true, that's a valid point. But you might have to send some of your best at times reporters and investigate that.
That's how boxing and these UFC contracts are. Once you lose, that contract's null and void.
That's not true, yet.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. In boxing, definitely. When you sign, like when Don King would sign these fighters to these 5-fight deals, like Hakeem Rockman fought Lennox Lewis, if you remember. And Hakeem Rockman knocked out Lennox Lewis in South Africa. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. After the fight,
That's 2001, I believe, right? 2001.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember the date. But Don King offered Hakeem Rockman, said, listen, man, he goes, before this second fight, I want you to sign right now on the dotted line, you know, for some ridiculous amount of money, for like $40 million for like, you know, a 4-fight deal, a 3-fight deal, whatever. You know, stipulation was he loses. He goes, but he goes, if you don't want to sign it, that's all right, because if you win, he goes, you may get a $150 million contract deal. Don King knew good and well that was a fluke, that Hakeem Rockman beat Lennox Lewis. And he tricked him, and Hakeem Rockman fell on his greed. So.
Yeah, and then Lewis knocked him silly when they fought again.
He was knocked silly, and Hakeem Rockman never been the same since. Yeah.
Yep. The Ed is quite the boxing scholar.
Yeah,
Don't mess with the Ed when it comes to boxing.
I like to say right now, free Roger Mayweather. Free Roger Mayweather.
What happened to Roger Mayweather?
You know, he's in jail.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. A little scuffle with a girl used to fight for him.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that yet. So, yeah, all our best to Roger Mayweather. He's a buddy of yours, Ed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hoping he gets out of jail soon.
That's right.
Discount tire got a $70 rebate on a set of 4 tires.
No, that's a good deal. What were you going to say there, Larry?
Well, I was going to say, speaking of friends of the Ed, how come Pat Knight never called the show?
I wasn't never on the show when I was with him when I had my show, so, you know. Plus, I don't know if he wants to come on my show.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
We don't get like top-notch guests like you guys get.
Yeah.
Well, we got you.
We got Joe Blugabloom as well. Don't forget that.
Oh, yeah, Joe Blugabloom.
He's very good.
I got you on that one. You guys will never live that one down.
Nope, never. Yeah, so what else is going on, Ed? Anything?
Nope, just driving right past Flowerama right now. Flower on Twain and Decatur in Las Vegas.
Where are you headed home, or where are you going?
No, I'm going to go to this place called Pictographics.
I don't know what that means yet.
It's a graphics company. It's called Pictographics.
Oh,
and I'm picking up a drawing.
A drawing of what?
Of the Las Vegas skyline back in the late 70s. Because I've been collecting matchbooks for a long time. And listen what I'm going to do. I'm going to take matchbooks of the old time, because I got all of them, man. I got the Stardust, the Silver Slipper, all them, man, the dunes, all that stuff, man. Desert Inn, I got them all. I got matchbooks of all those places. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the old Las Vegas Strip out of matchbooks, and I'm going to put it in a frame and frame it.
It's a pretty good idea, Ed.
It's always a good idea until you do it.
You always got something cooking. You're always working on something.
Keep it in a cool, dry place.
Why?
Well, it'll catch a blaze.
No, ain't nobody smoking around.
Oh, all right.
I don't think. And this lady, she's selling me this picture for $50. And,
$50.
Yeah. And then I got them Curtis the dog, man.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. You got a dog. Curtis the dog.
Him and that baby just driving me nuts, man. They both sleeping in my bed now, man. The baby and the dog.
Well, how's your son? Your son wanted to kick you out anyway, Ed. How's he going to feel about you getting a dog when he wasn't even around?
I got the doghouse in my room.
Well, that still doesn't help, Ed, because the dog is still in the house.
Now he got his own house. The doghouse.
Yeah, but it's inside your son's house. So how's he going to feel about having a dog inside his house?
As long as he's in his own house, he probably won't care.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling that's not going to go over too well with your son, Ed.
That makes sense, Mike, though.
I'll be home in about 2 hours, so I'll straighten him out one way or another.
Oh, all right. Well, I hope for the best. All right, Ed. Well, anything else, buddy?
I don't know why.
Well, we'll probably let you go then, you know.
You're going to have a UFO kid on, huh?
Yeah, he's going to be coming on here shortly. And there's a few other things we want to do before he gets here, so.
If anybody go to Las Vegas, go to Cleopatra's Bars in Caesar's Palace. Bartender there's Chad Pitt. Tell him Ed told you to come in and get a free drink.
There you go. Chad Pitt.
Yeah.
Cleopatra's.
And MJ Martin's on the bad side, too.
Why is he on the bad side?
He said he believes UMass Demonstrate #1 show.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's not good.
Guy's a butthole.
All right, Ed. Well, thanks for calling, buddy. We appreciate it. And tomorrow night, your show is Zach Rosenfeld from AccuScore.com. That'll be good.
I don't know if he'll call or not.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to, so we'll work it out. All right, Ed. Thanks, buddy.
You called him?
Well, he sent me an email, so yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, well, go on and do what you got to do then. No matter.
All right, Ed. See you, buddy.
All right. All right. See you. Brush it.
Yeah. I think he's going to tell us to brush our teeth.
Brush our teeth?
Probably.
All right.
Fight Mr. Tooth Decay. Whenever you can.
Well, that coming from somebody that eats 5,200 Oreos in 7 months, I'm sure his dentist is very happy with this.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have to get that report at some point as well, his dentist, because he had trouble with his dentist the last time he went. He had to get a tooth pulled, and that didn't go over so well. But so maybe we'll find out about that. But Larry, before Roger gets here to talk about the UFOs and whatnot, last week you and Brandon went head-to-head, top 11 movies of the 2000s. Do you remember that?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, well, you did. You went
okay, yeah.
Yeah, and they're supposed to, people were supposed to vote for who the winner was.
Right.
Over at damagechek.com or send emails. And it looks like you won, Larry.
Of course I won.
And I find that hard to believe because your list was terrible.
Yeah, but Cousin Brandon's list was more terrible. And it's only terrible in your eyes. Just because you don't like Harold and Kumar doesn't mean other people don't like Harold and Kumar.
It was terrible. And we should mention, Cousin Brandon couldn't be here tonight. He had other plans.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Bam, chicka, bam, bam.
So, but make sure you go over to 710 ESPN and read Cousin Brandon's hipster blog, Mr. Hipster blog there. And also, he wanted me to remind everybody to follow him on Twitter at twitter.com/cousinbrandon. And Larry, a few people, I believe Steve from Alabama, even wanted to know what your Twitter account is, Larry.
Yeah, I think I'm Larry LCS. I think Steve from Alabama. I think he's following me now.
So that makes 2.
And if you go over, actually, I've picked up a lot of followers. I have 32 now in the last. I picked up maybe 8 or 9 in the last week and a half, 2 weeks. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know who these people are, but whatever.
Must be loyal listeners.
actually tweeted something. I tweeted something the other day.
And what was that?
It was because if you go on the Twitter, cousin Brandon, he's always writing haikus.
Uh-huh.
So I wrote a haiku about cousin Brandon.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, it goes like this: Old Twitter junkie, you tweet about everything. You may be a gay.
That's very good.
Yeah, and then I got a personal email from him in my Hotmail account that just said "jerk" in gigantic letters.
Nice. Yeah, so make sure you go and follow cousin Brandon over there on the Twitter. And but Larry, real quick, I put together my top 11 movies from the 2000s.
Should I hit the music?
Yeah, let's hit the music.
The numbers all go to 11.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
LCS Hockey's top 11.
Ah, I can't wait to have it this list. Let's hear
Yeah,
it.
because if you remember, I wasn't even sure if I've seen 11 movies. In the 2000s.
Yeah. So these are all going to be stupid.
But I went through the list and I I found some good ones. Honorable mentions, I'd probably put, I don't know, like Spider-Man 2 and Iron Man in there just because, you know, I like the comic books and stuff. So they were both solid movies, so I'd mention those. I haven't seen a lot of the newer, like, big-name movies, so keep that in mind as well.
Dog and those sorts of things. Okay.
Yeah. But my number 11, I wanted to get a comedy in there, so I went with what I thought was the best comedy of the past decade, The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Okay, it's solid choice. I like that movie. I enjoy
It's a very good movie.
It's very good, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Even though Seth Rogen's in it, it's still very good.
Yeah.
Hard to believe.
It's weird the way that works, but yeah.
And that guy that stabbed his girlfriend's in that movie, still very good movie.
Yeah. Paul Rudd, he's always funny.
Yeah, Paul Rudd's good.
Yeah. All right, so The 40-Year-Old Virgin, number 11. And of course, Steve Carell, we got to mention.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Yeah. Get Smart, not so much. You
know what? I was pleasantly surprised with that movie.
See, I was saddened a great deal by that movie.
You're a purist as far as Get Smart goes.
That's right. All right, number 10, I think this movie came out in 2001 or right around 2000, Memento.
Memento, I own that on DVD. Solid film, but it's not, Brandon's criteria last week was, is it rewatchable? And it's not that rewatchable.
Yeah, but see, that's not my criteria. My criteria is whether it's a good movie or not.
Okay. If you're basing it off of that, it's a stand-up pick.
Yeah, because when it came out, you hadn't seen anything like it. You know, it was like the original. It was new. It was,
Well, it was kind of like that episode of Seinfeld where they started at the end and they worked back to the beginning again.
Yeah.
You know, the one in India where
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You can
stuff
your stories in a sack.
Yes, you can stuff your stories in a sack, mister. I don't even know what that means.
All right, so Memento, number 10. Number 9, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Okay, I guess. See, the only reason I know this makes your list is because Kate Winslet has the crazy colored hair in it.
Yeah. If
it's the same movie, but Kate Winslet has regular hair, this movie does not make your list. I guarantee it.
She's got like orange hair and blue hair and red hair. Like she's got all the colors of the rainbow.
Yes.
But no, it's a very good movie.
It's good. I enjoyed it. I'm not saying I didn't like it, but it didn't make my list.
Number 8. I don't know if you've ever seen this one, Larry. Match Point. Woody Allen directed that with Scarlett.
Nah, I didn't see that one.
It's very good. Match Point. Yeah, because my favorite author of all time is, one of them is Dostoevsky, and Woody Allen likes Dostoevsky, and it's kind of loosely based on A Crime and Punishment there, and it's very good. Very good.
See, I thought you liked that girl that writes all the Twilight novels.
No, not so much.
Oh, see, I misunderstood. I was misinformed.
Yeah, you were misinformed, exactly.
Yes, yeah.
Number 7, There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, we talked about that. That's a solid movie. And
we've talked about it a lot, but I always think there's one scene missing somewhere.
Yes.
Because I think the movie was running long, and it's long already. So I have a feeling like someone said, hey, you got to cut something. And they cut something, and it still works, but I have a feeling right at the end there, right around where the marriage scene, the kids getting married, I think something's missing right around there.
Yeah, it jumps quite a bit.
But it's still very good. Number 6, I got the Kill Bill, Volume 1 and 2.
All right, the Kill Bills, they were on my list as well.
Yeah, we talked about that quite a lot. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And like I said before, I think the first one's cooler, but the second one's probably the better movie.
I understand what you're saying. Makes sense, like your Pulp Fiction / Jackie Brown comparison.
Yes. But that first one, the fight scenes in that first one, especially the Crazy 88's fight scene there at the end, that's just dynamite stuff.
But even the opening, first 5 minutes where she gets shot in the head, you're just from that moment on, you're just so engrossed in the film. How can I turn this off now? She just got blasted in the skull. So good.
It's very good. Number 5, I got the Royal Tenenbaums.
Well, did you skip 6?
No, 6 was Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. 7 was There Will Be Blood. 8, Match Point. 9.
Okay. Yep. I missed one. All right.
So 5, we got the Royal Tenenbaums, and we talked about this last week as well because you and Brandon both had it on your list.
Yep, that was on my list.
Wes Anderson. It's probably my second favorite Wes Anderson movie.
Behind Bottle Rocket, which is
Behind Bottle Rocket. And Rushmore is interesting, but Rushmore is not as good as it should have been.
No, I understand what you mean.
Bill Murray's very funny in it, but and that kid's funny in it too. I like when he's on the wrestling team. He's just sitting on the bench there, and he just takes off his his little suit, gets in there, and bang, gets panned real quick and goes back.
Do you know that's I believe that's Talia Shire's son?
You are correct.
Yes.
Yeah. I always forget his name. It's Jason Schwartzman, or
yes.
Yeah.
That is correct.
I always forget if it's Jason or not. All right, so the Royal Tenenbaums, number 5. And then, of course, it has Luke Wilson in it. Luke is one of my favorite actors just because of the Bottle Rocket.
Yeah, I like Luke Wilson better than Owen Wilson.
Yeah. And, of course, the Bottle Rocket had both Wilsons in it. So how about that?
Yeah. Well,
And they had their older brother as well in it. He played Future Man.
There's another Wilson?
Yeah, an older brother. You never saw Bottle Rocket, huh?
I've seen bits and pieces. It's not that good.
Oh, it's tremendous.
No, it's
the best.
not.
Yeah, Future Man. Check it out. All right, number 4. Now, this is a movie you love, Larry. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah, that's a good movie. I
was saying that sarcastically. I thought you hated it.
No, I didn't hate it.
It's a Coen Brothers movie.
I know. Still, it's I like John Turturro. I'm a big fan of John Turturro. I like that guy.
Yeah, it's just a great flick, and I like the music in it too.
It's yeah, I guess. I enjoy it. I see where you're going.
Yeah, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? If I see that on, I'm stopping it when I'm watching it. I'll tell you that much. Good stuff. Number 3, and the top 3 could probably pretty much be in any order you want. But number 3, I got Mulholland Drive.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and you've never seen it yet, Larry, have you?
No, because I don't want to watch it.
You're supposed to watch it, and we had a bet. We made a deal. You were supposed to watch it, and you did not.
I did not.
It's been a good 6 years, I'd say. 5, 6 years.
Yeah, at least.
And you still have never seen it.
Yeah, since about Napoleon Dynamite came out, yeah, that's about when we made this agreement.
But Mulholland Drive. Yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
There was no statute of limitations on this agreement, Mike Dell. I can still watch it 25 years from now.
All right, fair enough. But what I like about this is it's that David Lynch character who directed it. He does all that crazy zany stuff like Blue Velvet and Twin Peaks and all that kind of stuff. And it's so weird because the first 15, 20 minutes I'm watching this movie and I'm like, what the hell is this? It's like, so you have no idea what's going on. I'm like, this is terrible. And then what you got to realize is what you're watching isn't really what you're watching. It's all like you start to catch on, and it's kind of like you're putting the pieces together in a big old puzzle. And it's kind of like a dream, a lot of symbolism and stuff. And yeah, give it a whirl. It's great.
You want to give away the ending or no?
No, I don't want to give away the ending. But I'll tell you this, pay attention. Because something that happens very early in the film, before you even know it has any importance, it comes back and it's pivotal later on. It helps you piece everything together. So just pay attention right from the start of the movie. But I guarantee you, the first 15, 20 minutes, you're going to be like, this is awful. I don't even know what I'm watching.
I believe that.
Stick with it. Stick with it. All right?
I don't like piecing together. I don't want to think too hard.
Yeah, see, I like thinking. And that's a good movie for the thinking. And a lot of interpretations you can have. And, yeah, it's good stuff. All right, number 2, I got one of Larry's personal favorite movies, No Country for Old Men.
Ugh, what a piece of shit this is.
Nah.
This movie's terrible.
So good. So good.
So bad. So
good.
awful.
Oh, it's so good. Can't say enough good things about it. In fact, I got my hair cut just like that guy in it. So.
Yeah, no, I bet you look extra tough now.
Yeah.
Do you have a flamethrower and a bolt gun?
Yes, I do.
All right, good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, No Country for Old Men. I can't get enough of it. It's great. I love the dialogue. It's so sparse. The words, and like not a lot of talking, not a lot of yapping. It's just yeah.
That movie is awful, brutal, overrated piece of shit.
It's the tops. Teaches me new things every day. And number one, I got, of course, Baby Mama. Baby Mama, number one.
Oh, okay.
No, just kidding. All right, Lost in Translation.
Of course. I was hoping. Hoping.
Yeah. There it is, Lost in Translation.
Yeah, see, me and you have the same movie at number one, so how does that make you feel?
Yeah, that's why I probably would have to give your list the edge, even though a lot of the other movies on it were terrible.
You got No Country for Old Men on your list.
That's right. It's a great movie.
And Match Point, which I think you and Woody Allen were the only two that ever saw.
Oh, no. Yeah, seriously, go check out the Match Point. You'll dig it the most. It's very good.
Is that about tennis?
Yeah, he's a tennis player, but it's not about tennis.
I think it is.
No, not really. The phrase match point comes from, the tennis match point kind of thing.
Well, that's what I figured.
Yeah. And tennis does play a role in it, like it's for symbolism and whatnot. They on that, but it's more about murder and consequences and stuff. Yeah.
It's a drama?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know Woody Allen made dramas.
Yes. Occasionally he does.
Huh. Is Soon Yi in it?
No. She's not.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to see it then.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
If Soon Yi was in it, I would definitely see it.
Yeah, so there you go, the top 11. One more time, real quick, Larry, because I know you want to hear them again.
I have them written down.
Yeah, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, number 11. Number 10, Memento. 9, Eternal Sunshine, The Spotless Mind. 8, Match Point. 7, There Will Be Blood. 6, The Kill Bills. 5, The Royal Tenenbaums. 4, O Brother, Where Art Thou? 3, Mulholland Drive. 2, No Country for Old Men. And number 1, Baby Mama.
Baby Mama. Yeah, very good. Very excited about that list.
Yeah. Did you hear 30 Rock got nominated for 22 Emmys? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. I heard best penis, largest penis.
I didn't even know there were 22 categories, and they got 22 nominated. That's crazy.
Well, they add, kind of like the Oscars. They just added a bunch of nonsense. Best mustache, thickest beard was one.
Hilarious.
Most protruding Adam's apple. All kinds of stupid stuff. Thickest glasses. So thick she could see the future.
Hey, no, you can't use my own joke to make fun of Tina Fey.
No, see, I just did.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there it is, top 11 movies of 2000s. Any other comments you'd like to add to that, Larry?
I still think my list is better. I got a little bit better variety on there. A little bit better variety. Yeah. Anytime you got Harold and Kumar on there, Mike Dell, you're in there like swimwear.
Now, have you seen any movies in the past week, Larry?
Yeah, we rented, it's called The Unborn.
The Unborn.
Oh, that is awful. What a piece of shit. Nick has the worst movie taste ever. As long as there's some sort of a ghost or a demon's son or anything like that. And, oh man, this movie's brutal. But there's like the main chick in the movie. She's kind of hot. She's like a Megan Fox light. Like it's not Megan Fox, but she's kind of down that road. She doesn't have the toe thumbs like Megan Fox. Oh man, not bad looking, but don't waste your time watching this movie. And literally, we're watching this the other night, and at one point I said to Nick, I said, God damn, we're only 20 minutes into this thing. It feels like it's been on for an hour. Like, literally, it drags that bad. But, hey, whatever. At least the girl was interesting enough to look at, I guess.
Yeah.
So don't rent The Unborn. It's unwatchable.
Yeah, I haven't really seen anything, I don't think, this week.
Yeah, other than that, the same thing. I've been very busy this week. Very, very busy.
Yeah, buying the house and whatnot, moving in.
Yeah, a lot of painting and a lot of moving.
Yeah.
You're so lucky you got out of it, Mike Dow.
Yeah, the wife and I, we almost had a house, and then the day we were supposed to close, like the day before, it just fell through, kind of.
Yeah, painting. Hey, if you guys do buy a house, don't call me to paint.
Yeah, we won't.
Yeah, I will never paint again.
Yeah.
Never.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I got nothing. So feel for the next minute, Larry. Just yap it up.
All right, we got a call.
Oh.
Let's take a call. I don't know if it's our guest. I don't
It probably
think
is
so.
our guest.
I doubt it.
Oh, okay.
Is he calling from 205?
Yeah, probably.
All
I
right.
forgot to ask, so yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if it's him.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, no, it's our buddy Steve from Alabama, I think, right? Steve, is that you?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Steve from Alabama?
What's up, man?
Well, I tuned in to, hear if y'all were talking about that wine that was banned in Alabama.
No. No.
Well, this is a wine show, ain't it?
Yeah, it is a wine show, yeah.
Okay, well, I heard it on Vertically Striped talking about a wine that was banned in Alabama, so.
Oh, I had no idea.
No,
Yeah.
I was unaware.
Anyway, well, as far as the movies, I kind of go with 1-9 there on his list. Lost in Translation. That's one down here that hardly nobody saw. And,
I believe that.
Yeah.
Lost in Translation doesn't carry to Alabama, apparently, but yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah. But now, I'm with Larry on the No Country for Old Men.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
Oh, well, it may have been a good movie if I'd have just recorded it one night, happened on it, didn't hear all the hype, but, I sat down and watched that thing and kept thinking, when's it going to get good? And in the end, I'm like, I can't believe. That was awful.
We'll have to break it down some night, Larry. Or we've done that in the past, haven't we?
10 times, 12 times?
Yeah. All right. Because I don't think people appreciate it. I don't think they understand what's going on in it a lot of the time.
I think they understand. I think they're just like, wow, what a turd.
I don't know.
What a turd.
They got to be missing something.
I think our guest might be here, Mike, though.
Oh, well, Steve from Alabama, thanks for calling, buddy. But we have a guest on the line we got to get to.
That's fine.
But
just leave me on so I can listen.
All right. Thanks, Steve. And be sure to call the Ed Show tomorrow if you want. Okay. That's Steve from Alabama. So, yeah, Larry, if you think our guest is here, bring him on.
I hope it's him. We just got a call right around the 10 o'clock hour, so I'm guessing it's him. But let me make sure. Is this Roger?
Yes. Hi, Michael Larry. Good to be here.
Roger Marsh, thanks so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Sure. And, thanks for having me.
Yeah, once again, you write a regular UFO column over at examiner.com. Everyone can go check out. And you're also the Director of Communications for MUFON.
Yes.
That's MUFON.com, the Mutual UFO Network. Well, first of all, why don't you tell people a little bit about MUFON if they've never heard of that before?
Yeah, MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network. It is the largest organization in the United States for the sort of collection of UFO reports, and also as far as the number of investigators, the field investigators they have out there. They have a presence in all 50 states, so each state has its own state director. Within each state, including Pennsylvania, where you all are at, there would be state section directors, and then under that would be a series of field investigators. They also have somewhat of an international presence. They are 40 years old. Actually, as of tomorrow, I think, is their 40th anniversary. They're all convening in Denver for the next, I think it's Thursday through Sunday is their 40th annual convention. James Carrion, of course, is the international director. He's based out of Colorado, another hot state for UFO sightings. So it's very well organized. They put out. In fact, if any of your listeners are interested in joining, it's as simple as paying. It's a fairly small fee, and you get a magazine. It's like an 8.5 by 11, like something like a 24-page magazine. It's their monthly journal, and they kind of try to bring you up to date, with what's happening in their organization.
Yeah, and if people out there have never been to the MUFON site, go there immediately because it's really cool. They have a map of the U.S. and they just track all the updated UFO sightings around the country.
Yeah, it's very neat, and also their CMS system. That is where you can, if you've actually seen a UFO and you want to report it, And you could even report one from the past if you saw one 10 or 20 years ago and just want to be on record with it. But especially the current sightings, definitely go to MUFON.com. It's a very simple form. It takes a few minutes to fill out, and it really helps the research. It really helps the larger body if everybody would go to the same place and report them.
Yeah, and if you could just give some, for people who aren't, and this is, I'm sure, a new subject to a lot of people out there, but what's like a general estimate for the amount of UFO sightings reported in a month across the country? That'd be a very large number, right?
Yeah, you're talking about a number, in the hundreds. Of course, that in no way reflects the number of UFOs that are probably actually seen. I believe MUFON is trying their hardest, with the budget that they have to make themselves aware. So a lot of people may not even be aware of, how to report a UFO sighting. Many people might just dial 911. Of course, if you feel that you're in danger, that is the thing to do. Get a police officer to come to the site. But I would say there's probably, I do the UFO traffic report 3 days a week, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. These are selected sightings, and I probably cover anywhere from maybe 8 to 15 sightings, 3 days a week, and that's just what I'm covering, what I think are the more interesting sightings. So I don't have a number off the top of my head, but I'm positive that it's in the hundreds.
Yeah, now,
I know.
Not necessarily all of those are actual legitimate UFO. Of course, UFO just means unidentified flying object. It doesn't necessarily mean, space.
Yeah, exactly. You'll have, what I term them are, the first level to me would be a bright light. Many people do misidentify planets and other objects that are either natural or man-made. They just are mistaken, and they file a UFO report. But, of course, there's many, many other sightings that come in, where people are seeing the actual shape of the object. For example, the triangle-shaped UFOs or the sphere-type UFOs, your traditional disc-shaped UFO. Anything generally where the crafts are coming down very low to the ground, either touching down and landing, or coming really within, let's say less than 500 feet, where people, you could pretty much be assured that, whoa, this is not a helicopter, this is not, you start ruling out what it's not, and then you look at it and say, wow, I think I've just seen a UFO.
Yeah, and before we get into the specific kind of sightings people have been seeing lately, let's just get a little bit about your background and what got you into this topic. Because, like most people, I grew up thinking, oh, this is just nonsense. It's just silliness, sci-fi stuff.
Sure.
You can't believe it. But then about a year or so ago, I decided, why do I feel that way? And it's just because people have told me that my whole life. It's nothing I've ever researched or experienced on my own. So I started looking into it, and I got to say, I was just shocked and overwhelmed at the amount of evidence out there, and well-documented evidence, too, not ridiculous stuff. Literally well-documented cases. And probably the thing that surprised me the most is just the amount of government documentation, not only in our government, but governments around the world. Every country has a bureau just tracking UFO sightings, and there's the paperwork's there, the reports are there, the cases are there, and it's really fascinating stuff. So, but what do you say to skeptics who think it's all just nonsense? How do you convince them?
Well, to the skeptic, as long as the skeptic plays fair and they're educated on the subject, I'm always more than willing to talk to the skeptic. It's the people that get kind of mean-spirited that I just tend to shy away from and figure, they'll figure it out at some point. And look at yourself. You've just done the research. You've given a nice capsule on it. The skeptics that I don't like, I guess, are those that say, look, you can't get there from here. Yeah. Things like that. Or they say, gee, it's almost like people want to Hollywoodize it, is what I call. They want Steven Spielberg to be producing what they think should be happening. that these metallic, objects that are, cranked out in factories, just like our cars are cranked out in factories on some other planet, and they have to travel here, and gee, wouldn't they be curious? Why aren't they landing on the, the White House lawn? I think as ufologists, we began looking for other answers. One of the simplest answers is, we may just appear to them as bugs. They're just not interested in us. Or their interest is how we might have an interest in cattle, something like that. Because once you tie in the alien abduction side to the sightings, it does get a little scary. Somebody recently asked me, are people being harmed at these UFO sightings? They were kind of new to ufology. And I said, in general, there are cases where somebody may have had some kind of, radiation effect on them. But most of the time, you can get within, less than 500 feet of one of these things, observe it, and, other than maybe some kind of a psychological problem that you might have, no, they're not harming people. We're not hearing reports that, 25 people were dead after a UFO landed, in a schoolyard in Denver. You just don't hear that kind of thing. Again, if you tie in alien abduction, then we might, have a little discussion on harm. So I don't know. The skeptics, I would say that just get out there and do what you did, and get out and start reading some of the reports. If you read every report that came through MUFON, like I have, over time you have to say, look, this is not all misidentification.
Yeah, like even if 99% of them are all fake, just that one case, it's real, and it makes it the most amazing story in the history of mankind. People need to wake up.
Exactly. My own interest, you would ask about that. I was actually born into a family where my parents had a personal sighting. They saw a disc-shaped object in the mid-'50s. So growing up in Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, my hometown. That's right.
Yeah. Growing up in Greensburg, and my dad owned a business in Greensburg, and he was kind of well known. And back in that era, of course, you had to keep quiet about it. The ridicule factor was extremely high. But I sort of grew up in an environment where my parents were bringing in, the latest UFO book that was written, or what, magazines were on the market back then, Fate magazine, things that even as a kid I could sit down and start reading these stories, where the average family, you did not see those books and periodicals, in the household. Yeah. And then also, again, in Greensburg, at the age of 16, in 1973, I had my own sighting.
Yeah, no, I've heard you talk about this before, so if you don't mind, tell the listeners about it, because it truly is an amazing story. So, yeah.
Well, I'll give a little more location detail in case some of your listeners are actually, right there in the Greensburg area. We lived in a housing development called Mountain View. Right off Route 30, sort of between Greensburg and Latrobe, on the hill above and behind Mountain View Inn. I was actually probably a few blocks from my own house at this time. It was like a weekend night, and it was just after dark, right on Seminary Drive. And if anybody knows that neighborhood, it's right where Seminary Drive meets what they used to call St. Joseph's Hall. I don't know what it is now. It used to be a state police barracks or something.
Yeah, it's still with St. Joseph's Hall, I believe.
Oh, it's okay. Right at the gates from the neighborhood. That's pretty much right where I was standing. Right where the Seminary Drive actually takes a bend, like a 90-degree bend in the street. That's where I was standing, and I was with like a dozen other kids in the street. And somebody yelled, "Hey, look at that," and they pointed down the street. And right at the treetop level, so you're talking, probably 25, 30 feet up, was a kind of a glowing disc, possibly 25, 30 feet across. And it looked, in that era, it sort of reminded me of your typical saucer-shaped UFO. Didn't see any windows or portholes, anything like that on it. It was just completely, what I saw from a distance, it was the same color as the moon, self-illuminating, and it was completely silent, and it was coming right down the street, right at us. And we literally, everybody just basically stopped in their tracks, and it went directly over top of us. And you just felt the displacement of air, like the swoosh sound, where it just felt like it was a very heavy object that was displacing air as it was moving. And being Pennsylvania and the rolling hills that you have there, the object was following the lay of the land. It was staying at the same altitude, like I said, just right above the treetop. I mean, and it went right over the gates of St. Joseph Hall, the gates, from the neighborhood side, and then went right down the hill toward Route 30. Now, people from different parts of the neighborhood were panicking. People had seen this, going over, so we all assembled on somebody's front lawn on the other end of the neighborhood. So now there's, a few dozen of us out there standing on the front lawn, and we're all talking about what we saw and who saw it and from what angle, and we're describing it. And about an hour had gone by, and we look in the sky, and we see the same object now at a higher altitude. It's shooting across the sky, and it comes right into our field of vision and just stops and hovers. And then it shoots down toward the ground, again comes to a complete stop, then it moves to the right just a little bit, and then shoots straight back up. And then at one point it just stood there, hovering, and then all of a sudden it just took off, at a direction, moving away from us until it just went out of sight. Within just a couple of minutes, 2 military jets moved into the area. They did a formation over like our neighborhood, and then they took off in the direction of the UFO. A couple of minutes later, 2 small planes flying in formation did exactly the same thing. And then I would say somewhere between 30 and 60 minutes later, the entire scene played out identical. The UFO returned, did a little dance in the sky, took off, military jets came, took off, light planes came, took off.
Yeah, it's always weird how the military shows up right after.
Right.
They're always right there. Because a lot of people think, well, this is all just military operations. Like it's secret military projects, and they're testing out these technologies, and that's all it is. It has nothing to do with space, aliens or creatures or anything. No, and it does seem like in the 50s there were a lot of like the classic disc shapes, and as you said before, the shapes have kind of changed a bit over the years. And nowadays you're getting all these big triangles, big black triangles with 3 lights underneath.
Oh yeah.
There's all kind of reports that those are a secret government plane called the Aurora, right? Is that what they're saying? The Aurora, or something like that?
Yeah, I'm not actually familiar with that term on them, but here's the problem that I have with secret military. If you look at just look at the triangle reports, okay, and specifically look at the triangle UFOs that came right down to ground level, and I mean, scared the heck out of people. If this is truly a secret military invention that we're all going to find out about, in the next 5 or 10 years, it's in the testing phase right now. If that's the case, why are they out in these remote areas scaring people?
Yeah, you think they'd have better things to do,
Exactly. Is it a pilot getting himself in trouble? And then my common joke is to say, if you're the pilot, to say, hey, look, there's a woman, feeding her horses on this, remote Oklahoma ranch. Let's swoop down and scare the bejesus out of her. I mean, wouldn't they get in trouble? Wouldn't that be against guidelines? Have you ever seen anything we've built forever, I mean, that was tested, that they would allow the pilots to do that?
Yeah, it's a little weird. And especially, what was the sighting just a couple years ago, or maybe it was just last year? It was flying towards the President's Ranch in Texas.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it wasn't that a triangle-shaped craft? And they had radar impressions of it and everything, and then the F-16s and everything went chasing it. And So if that
I'm
was a
pretty
government
sure
thing,
that was a triangle, but I'll stand corrected later on that one. That was kind of before I started writing full time about it.
Yeah, but it seemed a little odd. Like if that's a government thing, why would they be, infringing on the president's airspace over his ranch and stuff and all that? It seems kind of weird. I don't know.
It just doesn't add up to me. I can't tell people where they're actually coming from. I can't for sure say that they are aliens, unless people want to talk about alien abduction and what people are reporting over there. That's the only place that you're really seeing where people are saying, okay, here are the beings, the tall ones and the short ones, and we're getting, hundreds, by now thousands of people, who can sketch the exact same type of being.
Yeah, and that is kind of weird. And the alien abduction thing, it sounds crazy, it sounds silly, but do the research. This is thousands and thousands of reports. It's not just, a couple people with a screw loose imagining this up. And they all have similar experiences, and there is physical evidence left behind, implants taken out of their bodies and stuff.
Sure.
It is a fascinating subject. But getting back to the triangles there, because a lot of people think, well, if this is just government, because that's why it got all popular in the 50s and stuff. This is when our government was experimenting, and but UFO sightings go back throughout history. Like if you go back and study ancient scriptures and stuff, they all report seeing stuff,
they've always been here, and you're exactly right. People don't generally understand that. They think it's something brand new, 20th century. Wow, they're coming to visit us now because now we have airplanes or something, or we're waging war worldwide, and they're suddenly coming to look at us. But you're exactly right. You look back in biblical times. You could look into almost any culture. And look at their artwork, look at their writings, what they left behind, and they all tell the same stories.
Yeah, it is kind of eerie. And there's something else I was going to ask about who's the guy that writes about the ancient astronauts theories? That I can't think of his name now. Danikin or something similar to that.
Oh, can't recall. I just saw a film on that. It was a documentary. Recently,
but if people out there want to research, just Google up ancient astronauts and stuff like that. You'll find all sorts of information about it. But there's definitely a trail of evidence throughout the years of ancient UFO sightings. So it really is a very deep subject of investigation. And you certainly keep very busy writing about it. Like you said, you do columns all the time on Examiner.com. Every day you're writing stuff, 2 and 3 times a day. And I was over there today, and I saw you had the more reports of triangles. And there's a picture of one on there as well. People always say, well, why don't they get pictures or video of it if it's happening somewhere? Well, they do, and then people just discount it saying, oh, it's fake. But, it's there. I've seen some very good pictures of the triangles and stuff. And
keep in mind, I mean, even in recent days, as our technology changed, and, especially now with cell phones and, of course, automobiles being introduced at the early part of the 20th century, we do know, we have repeated examples where these crafts can actually control, they can shut your car off. They can shut your cell phone down. Those stories are out there. But, I mean, people are snapping photographs of them, and we're trying hard, to train people that if it happens, I mean, imagine, how panicked you would be. Even the UFO that I saw, I mean, you could count the seconds. That sighting only lasted, 15 seconds at the most, 15 seconds for that craft to go from one end to another. Now, in 1973, we weren't even talking about cell phones yet. But if I had the cell phone on me then that I own today, I would be hard-pressed. I don't use the camera all the time. So I'd have to look at it, focus, and go, oh, wait, push this button. Okay, now we're going to focus, and the darn thing's gone. But the people that do shoot video where it at least stays in range long enough to get it, please, if you don't have a tripod, put the camera down in some way where you can push it against a hard surface somehow, so that the camera needs to be not moving while you're shooting video. People tend to just sort of wildly, rock the camera back and forth, and then it's kind of hard later when you're looking at the end result video. What's moving? Is the object moving, or is the camera moving? It's kind of difficult.
What's your favorite story at the moment that you've been covering? The one that really stands out to you that you think, hey, this is interesting stuff.
Yeah, I've actually got my 3 top picks right now.
Yeah, feel free.
And of course, I could talk for the next 12 hours on just specifically sightings. But my top story right now occurred on July 5 out in California on a ranch, and I don't have the exact city yet. I'm thinking this is probably a MUFON, probably a high priority case, and they're keeping low key about it right now. But this was a cone-shaped object, and there were and it was a bluish color. So it was a man and his teenage son, and then a friend of theirs. It was the 3 of them on the ranch. They were inside, and they saw on their property at a distance this bluish light that was dropping down from the sky, and the object had either landed on their ranch or it was hovering just 2 or 3 feet above the ground, one or the other. And anyway, they stepped outside and they took a look at it from a distance, and they could actually see portholes on this thing. There were actually like 3 levels of portholes. I believe there were 3 on the bottom, and then there was like a second level where there was 1 porthole off to the right, and then a third level where there was 1 porthole off to the left. And the thing was lit up, from the inside. It was all lit where they were just seeing these portholes, but it's sort of a bluish color to the whole thing. They stepped back inside momentarily to grab, flashlights and some equipment, and then they jumped into a pickup truck. They were going to drive in a vehicle to get close to it. And when they stepped back outside, like I said, just a couple of minutes after seeing this thing on the ground, it was gone. And they went down to the spot where the object was anyway, and they heard these weird sounds coming from the trees, like the wooded area near them, like a clicking sound. And it was really eerie, and it upset them, and they just figured they'd better get out of there. So they went back to the house, they made some phone calls, and about an hour later, a friend came over. And now there's 4 of them. So the 4 of them go down to the site again. And I might get this wrong, I don't have the report right in front of me, but they started hearing these weird sounds again, and they looked up, and they said the sky opened up. And they were trying so hard in the report to explain what they meant by opened up. They said it was like all they could say in English was the word wormhole. It was like this weird thing opened up, and then something flew into it, and then the whole sky closed back up again.
Yeah, because it goes back to the question of how do they get here, by our physics. And one theory is that it's interdimensional. They just skip from one dimension to the other. And if you read up on the string theory and whatnot, that's being proposed right now by a lot of physicists. So maybe they just have this ability to come in and out of our dimension. That'd be something, right? Yeah,
you're probably right, because in a lot of the cases, they'll say that object that they're looking at, and these are people who have very, very good descriptions of these objects. The objects are there 1 second, and they're gone the next. The most frequent term or expression you hear is like it's as though you just flipped a light switch, and the thing just went out.
Yeah, just because we can't figure out how they're doing it doesn't mean it can't be done. We like to think that we're all very smart, and that no one's smarter than the human race. But yeah, what can you do?
Well,
we used to think the Earth was flat too, not too long ago. So
exactly. Well, I have my second and third favorite case, but I also have a case from Pennsylvania from 1973 that's rather interesting.
Hey, that was the same year you had yours, right? Your sighting?
Yeah, the same year. And what I was probably not aware of at the time, 73, 74 it's noted by all ufologists, worldwide that Pennsylvania had this huge flap in 1973, and it ran from 73 for about a year into 1974. And it was something that I believe had never happened before, where hundreds of people were reporting UFOs. At the same time, hundreds of people were reporting the Bigfoot creature. Now, back in that era, 73, 74, it's pretty well documented that the ufologists were not talking to the people who studied Bigfoot. The Bigfoot researchers were not talking to the ufologists. At least today, the door is open, and if you've read books like Hunt for the Skinwalker, you'll see there are other instances in different parts of the country where they've tied the UFO to the Bigfoot creature. So I didn't really know at the time, even though my father was friends with and actually worked a few cases with Stan Gordon. Stan Gordon, of course, is the Greensburg-based UFO Bigfoot researcher. He's been the main guy in Pennsylvania since probably sometime in the maybe the mid to late 60s.
And I just talked to Stan earlier today. He's going to try and come on our show in a couple of weeks and talk about catch.
Oh, great. Yeah, he's the man for this stuff. In fact, he can tell you the Uniontown case, much better than I could, in much better detail. One of the investigators that was with Stan, I ended up doing an 8-part video series where he told the whole story about what happened in Uniontown in 1973. And I only bring that case up because it was a case where a couple of things were interesting. One is the UFO actually landed on the ground. Multiple people saw it. One of the young men that saw it pulled a rifle out of a pickup truck and fired at it. And when he fired at it, the UFO, just in the blink of an eye, disappeared. But what it left behind was light. It left light behind on the ground in the same circumference as the UFO. And then immediately afterwards, there were two Bigfoot creatures were then observed on the property. And then a state policeman came to the scene and noted that he got down by that light, and he said that you could actually, and this was like 10, 11 o'clock at night, you could actually read a newspaper off that light.
That is interesting.
Now, by the time Stan and his crew got there, the light had dissipated. It was no longer, visible, but the Bigfoot creatures were still there. You could hear them, walking through the woods, and there was, I'll save that story for Stan in its complete version. But ask him about the Uniontown case. That's a great one.
Yeah, I never really researched the whole Bigfoot and alien connection. I never looked into that.
Yeah, it's in my mind. Now, Stan and I just finished a book, which should be out, I would think, sometime in 2010, called Silent Invasion, the Pennsylvania UFO Bigfoot Casebook. That's been 2 years of hard work on his part and my part. And so having been through all that, the book, of course, is based on his database of investigation work, all of the notes on every case and the media frenzy that was going on back then. Just the number of people, and really the actual state police in your area and the local, the smaller police departments. There was a point in 1973 that they were really at a panic. They really did not know what to do. And the local congressman's office got involved. I think the name might have been Murphy. I might be wrong on that, but the congressman actually sent a couple of people over to talk to Stan to find out what was going on. And then eventually it started to calm down. The wave, after about a year, the wave went away. And now it's just, occasionally. In fact, there was just a Bigfoot sighting, a very good sighting, just a couple of weeks ago, right down, again, near Uniontown, coincidentally. Where a woman was driving down a roadway near Uniontown, and this thing jumped out of the woods at her and crossed the street. And she thought, of course, it was a human or something at first, and tried to avoid hitting it. And the thing actually jumped over the back of her car and took off running. So again, Stan covered that case, just published a story a couple weeks ago on it. So for whatever reason, maybe it's reconnaissance work, I don't know, but they're still sending creatures into that area for, Lord knows what reason.
Yeah, because you don't hear about Bigfoot too much these days, so it's nice to know he's still out there. It's good to hear. But now, what was the third case? You said there was three.
Of current cases, the second case was a case that happened in Oklahoma, which I made a reference to earlier. This was on May the 18th. It was a small town in Oklahoma. It was a ranch outside of a small town. And a woman had gone out there kind of late at night to feed her horses. And she noticed these lights off in the distance, these three lights coming sort of toward her. Assumed it was like maybe three helicopters, but she wasn't hearing any sound. And as the craft got closer and closer to her, she realized it was this giant triangle, with the 3 points of light, and I believe it was traditional with the three white lights and the red light in the center. And this thing was so huge and so close to the ground, and it was silent, and it was moving right toward the area that she was in, that she panicked and ran to her pickup truck, got in, was fumbling, I remember the case, fumbling for her cell phone, and finally just turned the car on, put it in gear, and started to take off. And she got to a point where she had to make a decision. There was a single road there. Do I turn left and go into town, because town is just 2 miles down the road, let's say, or do I go right where I'm going to be a little in more of a wilderness area, so to speak? To get to the next town would take me much longer. But if she turned left for safety reasons, like let's just get to the nearest town 2 miles away, she would have to have driven right by the UFO. And of course, she did what probably any of us would do. You want to drive away from it when you're in a panic situation. So she turned right and went the other way. And she said the last she saw of it, she looked over her shoulder, and this thing was hovering probably just, 10 or 15 feet off the ground. So that's another case that I really think is a high priority case. My third case happened in Michigan. Did not record, at least for this, I didn't record the town, but it was up in Michigan, happened on April 5, and it was a man and his wife and his son, 20-something-year-old son, and his mother. I think she was like in her 80s. Oh, and they had left a casino, that was it, late at night, and they were heading home, and again, one of these triangle objects came right down out of the sky, and it actually crossed the road right in front of them. I mean, very, very, very low to the ground. Now, Michigan MUFON, I do know that they stepped in on that case. They completed their investigation, and the best they can do, unless the thing crashes and we have the ship, they've termed it a true unknown, which is pretty good for MUFON. Once you get to that level where you cannot rule, you've interviewed all the witnesses, and again, there's a case where there's nothing that was left behind. You're going simply on witness testimony. But these were good people, husband, wife, son, and mom.
Well, before we say they're good people, they, in all fairness, they could be Red Wing fans in Michigan.
That's true.
You don't want to judge them too quickly, but
right.
Yeah. But what do you think about all the mainstream media attention now that UFOs seem to be getting these days? Larry King was doing them all the time there a couple months back. He's quit having the UFO shows, huh? I haven't seen him do one recently.
Well, I think that first of all, mainstream media is in the middle of a shift right now. They're losing print to the web. That's obvious. People are no longer. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, it was 3 networks. That was it. And now we have CNN, and we have all that shift happening, the cable shift. And again, the web is now cutting in on that. So. Mainstream media, I mean, I was a journalism major, in college, getting my bachelor's degree. I was a, master's degree in journalism also. any of that kind of stuff, they shied away from. Covering anything with the paranormal or UFOs. I've been in newsrooms. I've worked for the media, and those stories you just did not want to bring to your editor. You were basically kind of laughed out of the newsroom. So there has been a shift lately in mainstream media. People like Larry King, who it's sort of a softer way to get it in. I think Anderson Cooper even did a report once on something, and that could have been something that was like really covered well, like probably the Phoenix Lights, I would say.
Yeah, Phoenix Light does a big case.
Yeah, and possibly the Stevensville Lights down there in Texas. I think that was last year.
Yeah, I think that's the one I was talking about earlier about flying by the President's Ranch. That was the Stevensville.
Okay. Well, CNN, again, might have covered something like that. And you're seeing more and more of the sort of regular reporters being allowed to cover UFO cases. But it is starting...
That's why, I think, because people tune in,
I think so. I think once they figure out that this thing is real, and, I'm an educated person. I've been out there. I've been around the block, and I've done my homework. And I'm not willing to say they're, from other planets. I'm just in the same boat you are. I have no idea what they are, where they're from, but I know they've always been here.
Yeah, something's going on. That's the important thing. Now, but a lot of other countries are releasing their UFO files. Like I think just this past week, Russia released a bunch. I haven't even been able to read them yet, but have you looked into that at all, the Russian files?
No. Like you, I was so busy. I did see a mention of that, but I haven't actually read anything. But of course, England, Great Britain has been opening theirs up a little at a time. Every year they're getting more out there.
And of course, the Vatican, I think last year even came out and said, just because if it does turn out that there are aliens, that doesn't mean God doesn't exist. So if the Vatican's coming out and saying something like that, something's up. Something's coming up.
Right. That's what the talk is right now. You picked right up on it. That it's sort of leader news like that, like the Vatican saying, "Hey, look, we still believe in God. We still believe in Jesus Christ, but these things could exist. They're just part of the larger world."
So yeah, the theory is that they're just trying to get us prepared. The Vatican and all these governments releasing this stuff, that in a few years they're actually going to come out and say, hey, you know what? It's been true all along. Now, do you think disclosure's coming, or they're just going to keep pushing it off?
No, I think that here's the problem. Our technology is accelerating at such a fast rate that at some point, even mainstream media, even the staunchest skeptics out there are going to be stopped in their tracks someday. When it'll be like a 9-year-old kid, in New Jersey who picks up daddy's, $5,000, high definition camera, points it, boom, gets like the best shots. But I think the technology, again, is what's going to stop all the disinformation coming from the federal government. It is my firm belief that even after Project Blue Book, they tried to throw Project Blue Book at us and say, there, we did it. Nothing's going on. Everybody go home, okay? And, of course, J. Allen Hynek.
Yeah, for the people who don't know what Project Blue Book is, that was the official government report, that they used to keep track of all the UFO sightings, the federal government project.
Yeah, exactly. And it was astronomer J. Allen Hynek out of Northwestern University out here in Chicago who headed up that investigation. But when Project Blue Book shut down, he went on to start the J. Allen Hynek Center for UFO Studies, which is still based here in Chicago, currently headed by Dr. Mark Roediger, their scientific director. In fact, their offices are just a few blocks from my home, coincidentally. But yeah, it's like they tried to say that, but my guess is, I'm positive that I'm correct, that our government is not stupid, and they probably just created departments, and they made it sort of, a black department, so to speak, where they're just not telling people about it. But I guarantee you they are tracking them. Look at how many UFO reports we have where it happened just like mine in 1973, where suddenly the military jets are there. Now, if you try and follow up on that as a good reporter, as a good field investigator, you get nothing from the government. Even if you get somebody to go on record, they'll say, well, yeah, we had nothing in that airspace. Yeah, nothing was out there. And that's it. I mean, you can't, it's the federal government. That's as far as you can go.
Yeah, they're not scared to lie to the people. Now, you mentioned you're in Chicago now. Of course, you grew up around Greensburg, like you said. But were you in Chicago back in the O'Hare incident back in 2006? Because that was a case.
Yeah, I was here during that. That was a real interesting case. Too bad that it wasn't caught on camera or video. But that was an interesting case where the UFO moves through a cloud and then it leaves a hole in the cloud. I mean,
it was a big silver disc, right? A traditional silver disc, and it said it appeared over gate C-17 at the airport there, and a lot of people saw it and freaked out a lot of the people working there. And there's even a little audio clip, I think. The news station and one of the reporters, they didn't know the camera was still rolling, and they were talking about it. Yeah.
Famous clip, yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of legit, if you don't believe. I think even Dan Aykroyd, he's real into the UFO thing, and I think that was one of the incidents that really.
Yeah, he supports MUFON as well. But when people bring up the O'Hare incident, let me give you another case that happened, and this is where my theory that probably only 5% of the UFO cases actually get reported. Okay, this goes back into the I'm going to say it was the late 80s, and my wife was commuting at that time, from one Chicago suburb, to another, to where we lived. So she's going down an 8-lane highway, okay? 8-lane, super highway in Chicago, and there is a horrible rainstorm happening. So everybody's going 20 to 30 miles an hour because it's just a drench, one of the worst kind of downpours. And my wife said that all of a sudden she noticed that something was coming down from the sky, and it was this, and I'll have to stand corrected. I haven't heard the story for a while, but I believe it was some kind of a disc-shaped object. And she said it came right down out of the sky, right down to very close to the ground, probably 15, 20 feet off the ground, and hovered. And because of the rain and everything that was going on, and the wipers are going super fast, and she's looking at this thing, she said she couldn't take her eyes off of it. And she looked across the highway, and she could see all these necks and other cars. Everybody was cranking over and deliberately, even going 20, 30 miles an hour, everybody slowed down a little bit more to look at this thing. And it was only there for about 30 seconds or so, and then all of a sudden she said it just lifted up and just went boom, way up into the cloud coverage. Now I checked with, MUFON and QFOS, okay? Nobody reported that. There had to have been at least a dozen people that saw this UFO come down, and my wife, who really has no interest in ufology at all, well, not till she married me, but she, even in that era, we had been married, many years. She really didn't, she's more of a history buff. This is what happened, for real in the Civil War or something. She doesn't want to know about subjects where you can't pin something down and kick tires. But she said this was not a helicopter, Roger. This was not an airplane. This was something she had never seen before, and it was just, silently hovering there.
Well, there was talk that once Blue Book closed, that the federal government took on a stance that everyone who mentions UFOs or talks about UFOs should be ridiculed. And there's a document from the RAND Corporation where they said, and that's like a government think tank, where people debate whether it was legit or not, or if this was the true intention of the memo. But they were basically saying to ridicule any mention of UFOs to make people seem crazy, if that was the official government policy. And
I think that history will prove that to be true.
Yeah.
fact, yeah, somebody just mentioned that recently, and I wish I could pull that memory up, but because they were pinning down the actual decades, that it was probably at least like the 50s and the 60s where that happened. And if I'm not mistaken, the person who was speaking had said that a lot less of that is happening lately. That it was more in the 50s and 60s, bleeding into the early 70s, and then they sort of gave up on it. But yeah, they were definitely out there pushing, this disinformation. It's like those guys in New Jersey that created some, homemade craft with, flares and wire, and put it out there, and they put a big hoax on. And man, the mainstream media jumped on that story.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, what they're not reporting is behind the scenes, New Jersey MUFON had already said it was a hoax.
Yeah. But of course, the media doesn't say that. They just say, oh, look, they tricked them because UFOs are fake and all that. Yeah.
Because, imagine that you are this not-for-profit organization, and two people come forward and say, we saw this thing. At that point, they knew it was a hoax, but they didn't know who did it. Okay, they didn't know if it was the people who were on camera reporting it and saying, ooh, this is what I saw, okay, or here's my video of it, or was it somebody totally different? If they start pointing fingers at people and saying, you're a hoaxer, they could get sued. So they were a little bit low-key about it, but you're right, that is not being reported out there.
Yeah, it truly is a fascinating subject, and if you people out there listening, do the research yourself. Look into it if you don't believe it. It really is a very deep subject for exploration, and you will be surprised at what you find. So, Roger Marsh, thank you so much for coming on the show, and tell the people again where they can find your column.
Yeah, if you just go to examiner.com, and they have a search mechanism at the top, and if you just you can just type the word or the acronym UFO in, or if you remember my name, Roger Marsh, type in Roger Marsh, or even just go to Google and type in Roger Marsh UFO, and I'll be the first one that'll pop up. But that way, or go right to Examiner. Also, my main website is called incahoots.tv, incahoots.tv, and actually all my stories, you'll see, the headlines and the lead-ins to that. For both, because I am the National UFO Examiner, but I'm also the National Paranormal News Examiner. So we've got some neat stuff coming up. I'm actually coming out your way for a shoot, for a 21-webisode shoot at the end of this month. And I'm also coming to Pennsylvania to cover yet another haunted hotel.
Yeah, aren't you going to recreate an exorcism or something along those lines?
Yeah.
Or is that in New York? Do I have that confused?
Yeah, that's up in New York. We're going to be in Hinsdale, New York, very small town. There was an exorcism that occurred there in 1974. I was at the university right down the street, St. Bonaventure University, earning my first degree in journalism at the time. So the priest who was from St. Bonaventure who did the exorcism, I actually heard him, live give a talk on it in late 1974. And at the tender age of 17, I actually put a group together as a freshman college student, and I went up myself to the house, did my own investigation, wrote my own story, and now all these years later, we'll probably run out of time if I try to tell the whole story, but in short, nobody realized until just recently that the priest had a tape recorder, and he tape recorded the entire exorcism. They also brought a film crew in, a student film crew in from NYU to, I'm sure they probably used 16 millimeter back then, and they actually shot it, and that's a whole other mysterious piece of the story, how the film crew disappeared afterwards and never heard from again. The film has never come up, but a transcript of that tape recording was found at the Alex Tannis Foundation website, very recently. Alex Tannis was the psychic who went in with the priest. He did a de-psyching of the house while the priest did the exorcism. And then the woman who lived there at the time with her husband and 4 kids, and she wrote a book about it called Echoes of a Haunting, a house in the country. That's Clara Miller. She's out in Oregon right now. I'm in touch with her. She's actually going to be an executive producer on the project. Michael Rambacher is going to be our site coordinator up there. He's the current keeper of the story. He's also served as, he's actually worked with other networks who have done, 1-hour dramas on the house. But we're going to be the first one to actually go to the house, to the actual rooms where the exorcism took place, and we're going to recreate it. We've got a crew of 10 regional actors coming in, and I've got 4 crew members coming in with me from Pennsylvania, and one's coming in from Ohio, and we're going to shoot it in 2.5 days.
Yeah, again, like ghosts and demons, all stuff sounds crazy. It sounds silly, but look into it. You might be surprised what you find. It's a fascinating world. It really is. But, well, Roger Marsh, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll get you back on again at some point and update us on all the things UFOs and whatnot. So.
Great. Michael, Larry, thank you so much. And give me a call anytime. Be glad to come on.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Roger Marsh. What do you think? Larry, you still there? You were very quiet. But,
I'm still here, Mike Dell.
So what do you think of all that UFO?
Fascinating. It's all fascinating stuff. I mean, nothing I can really add to the conversation, so better to just back out of the guy's way.
Yeah, again, it sounds absurd. It doesn't sound reasonable at all, but that's just because that's what you hear your whole life growing up, that it's all just crazy, it's all lunacy. But if you just approach the subject with an open mind, look into it, it's not like there's a shortage of evidence. That's the thing. Like it really is amazing when you look into it. And maybe at some point in the future we'll get into some historic cases, Larry, like Roswell. And did you ever hear of the Battle of Los Angeles, Larry? That's an interesting sighting there. And Betty and Barney Hill, Phoenix Lights again. And like I said, Stan Gordon from another Greensburg native. Just talked to him today, and he'll be coming on maybe early next month to talk about Kecksburg. So that'll be something.
So were all these UFO guys from Greensburg?
Yeah, it's weird, huh? A little odd.
It's real weird.
Yeah, a little bit. But, so we'll try and make that happen. And then what else, Larry, do we got coming up? We didn't have time to do the conspiracy stuff because I still had a little bit more on the JFK. And I have a lot on Robert Kennedy that we could talk about soon. So. And
plus, I don't know if you booked this or not, but I know Mitch the Masturbator wanted to come on the show.
Oh, that's right. Brandon's brother, Mitch, wanted to come on the show.
We got to line that up at some point.
Yeah, so maybe we can make that happen next week.
And we got fantasy football and, I guess, hockey.
Yeah, maybe 2 weeks. Maybe in 2 weeks we'll do fantasy football because that'll be right around the draft time, right?
Yeah. Draft's the 26th. What's today? The 5th? Yeah, so about 2 weeks.
So that'll be good times.
Yeah.
All right, Larry. That's about it, buddy.
That's it. Yeah, we got to thank Roger Marsh from Examiner.com and MUFON.com for stopping by.
Yeah, go to MUFON. Seriously, it's really cool. You got a little map, and you got like little space monkey heads and little spaceships and stuff, and you click on them, and you get the details of the story and everything. It's great.
Speaking of which, not aliens, but I got a good ghost story I got to tell you at some point, Mike Dell.
Ooh, legit ghost story from your apartment that you just moved out of? Or?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Is it like this happened recently, right before you moved out?
Yes.
Yeah, you have told us the ghost story before from your apartment, where you thought you saw a little kid sitting on the couch.
Right.
Did the little kid make another appearance? Is that what I'm hearing?
It wasn't necessarily a kid, but something happened about maybe 2 weeks ago.
Ooh. Well, don't save it. That's a cliffhanger. That's awesome.
Yeah. We'll tease him with that one. And thanks to Roger, and we got to thank the Ed. The Ed was here, and tune in for his show tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern on the Blog Talk Radio there. And Joseph Blogablue was here today.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot all about him. Yeah.
Yes, of course. And obviously, Steve from Alabama was here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Made a stop, and other than that, go to lcshockey.com and get your copy of Honest John Churchfield. Why not? You're not doing nothing else, so run over there, grab that, and we'll be back at it again next Wednesday. Hopefully we won't talk about hockey. And other than that, you got anything you want to add there, Mike Dell?
No, but thanks for asking.
All right, good enough. Next Wednesday, 9 p.m., be there. Until then, pass the gin. Gavna.
You know, some people might think like, oh, you know, my show doesn't matter, or, you know, why would I want to come on Blog Talk Radio? Who can I reach? Okay, just so you know, okay, right now, you just reached me, okay? You might be surprised. So if you have a passion, this is what I really want to encourage everybody to do. If you have a passion, start a show, because if you think about what's important in life, and I know Travis can confirm, and so can Sonny and other people who have shows, really what matters in life is if you touch one person, okay? And so you've got to speak your passion, and you really have to find a way to speak it, and that's what Blog Talk Radio lets you do. So.
Thank you very much.